7 reasons people disrespect INFJs and INFPs. Thank you for tuning in. So I'm still working on learning that editing program, and as soon as I have it learned, I will be getting the higher quality videos out to you as soon as possible. All right, these are in no particular order. Let's just go ahead and jump into number 1. The first reason people disrespect INFJs and INFPs is because the individual does not respect themselves. People that don't respect themselves are not going to show respect to you, especially INFJs and INFPs, okay? Now, by me saying that, I am in no way casting off responsibility. There are reasons on this list that people disrespect INFJs and INFPs, and it's due to the INFJ or the INFP's issue, all right? So I'm not saying that we should not take responsibility for our lives. I'm saying that there are people out there that hate and disrespect themselves so much that they will quite literally disrespect you because they hate themselves. That's number 1. Number 2 is that there are a lot of INFJs and a lot of INFPs who do not love themselves. And here's why my heart breaks for a lot of INFJs and INFPs that hate themselves. Because I was one for years, by the way. And I still am working on different issues and trauma and things in my life. But here's the thing, INFJ or INFP, we are one of the rare breeds out there who, even if we don't respect ourselves, we will often still be nice to other people excessively and have such a high degree of tolerance for other people that we treat people who disrespect us with gentleness and love and kindness and patience and tolerance. And I understand that to a point, but when it's to the point to where people are running you over and they're stepping on your toes and treating you like a doormat, right? That's crossing the line, in my opinion, and a lot of times this happens because the INFJ or the INFP does not respect themselves. So respect yourself, okay? Now let's jump into number 3, and this one might surprise you a little bit. So INFJs and INFPs have a stare, all right? I mean, the INFJ stare is notorious. There's so many videos out there about this intense NI, introverted intuition, INFJ stare. And INFPs have one too. Theirs is more of a gaze, but both personality types have unique eyes, and they have a unique stare, and this can be extremely off-putting to people. I know that INFPs and INFJs both can have like the best case of resting bitch face you've ever seen in your life. Like, even if they're in a good mood, right? An INFP or an INFJ can have a poker face, and when people look at the INFJ or the INFP, even if the INFJ or the INFP are being completely cool, people will look at that and they will take offense when we make eye contact with them, assuming that we're judging them in some way when in reality we aren't. And that might be a reason why people disrespect you when they see you, because they are misinterpreting your stare as judgment or disapproval when in reality it is not. Before I give you number 4, if you're getting value out of this video, it would mean so much to me if you would please not only like and subscribe on this video and to the channel, but share this video with an INFJ or an INFP that has struggled with disrespect, has been mistreated, misunderstood in their life. Share this video with them today, or share this video with someone of a different personality type so that you can bring awareness to these issues that INFJs and INFPs deal with. The 4th reason people disrespect INFJs and INFPs, and this kind of ties in with all 3 of them, but this is a universal thing that we have to keep at the forefront of our mindset all the time. Every single day that we strap on our shoes and head out into the world, we need to remember that if we do not set firm and proper boundaries, people will disrespect us. I've said this before in a lot of my videos. My definition of what constitutes a boundary is saying no to anything or anyone that is not good for your well-being. Okay, if it is actually destructive to your health, your well-being, your life, I mean, if it is actually destroying you, if it is actually doing damage to you, you got to set a boundary around that. This might be a boundary around a toxic person. It might be a boundary around, one of your weaknesses or a proclivity or of something that you have a tendency to want to give into, and you should say no to it, but you give into it and it's destroying you. Toxic people out in the world can spot someone with no boundaries a mile away, and they take every opportunity that they can to exploit that because it makes them feel good about themselves. Set boundaries. Decide what you will and will not tolerate for your life, and people will treat you with more respect, in all likelihood. Okay, number 5 might surprise you. So number 5 is INFJs and INFPs both struggle with a lack of social awareness oftentimes. INFJs have a 3-year-old cognitive function process known as extroverted sensing, which is about the real present moment and what's going on in the exact moment here and now. INFPs have a 3-year-old of extroverted thinking. Okay, and so you guys, we're clumsy. Raise your hand if you're clumsy. Raise your hand if you'll just be out and about and suddenly you'll bump into stuff, right? Or you'll focus in on one thing and be completely oblivious to your surroundings with everything else, right? INFJs and INFPs can be walking northbound and somebody coming southbound, and the INFJ or the INFP will be so in their head that they don't even notice. Like they look up and then like they bump right into somebody without even realizing that they did it. Or they get into the line of direction of somebody walking without even noticing. Okay? You guys, when we get in our head like that, even though we're well-intentioned and we've done absolutely nothing wrong, there are a certain percentage of people out there that might misinterpret that as us violating or disrespecting them, and so then they feel justified to show disrespect to us. Now guys, I'm not saying that we're bad or that this is some flaw. All I'm saying is, be aware. I know that you're a peacemaker and that you just want to get along with people. But when other people feel disrespected or violated in any way, and some people are so sensitive to it, that just the slightest thing, right? No matter how justified you might be, INFJ or INFP, they will still take that thing as a slight and then feel perfectly justified to show you disrespect. It sucks. I hate it. I wish it weren't the case, but unfortunately that is just the way it is. So be aware. Okay, number 6 is a lack of assertiveness. So 75% of INFJs test as turbulent INFJs on the 16 personalities. And let's be honest, INFJs and INFPs, a lot of times we struggle to stand up for ourselves. We struggle to assert ourselves, to speak our needs, to state what we want. Is that not a struggle for us? Raise your hand if being assertive is a struggle for you. It's a struggle for me. You guys, I'm literally doing assertiveness training right now to get better at this because it is a struggle for me. And this ties in with setting firm boundaries, right? And respecting yourself. But let's be honest, okay? The reality is, if people are turbulent and they're passive and they don't state their needs, there are so many people out there that will walk on that and will exploit that, and they will take advantage of that. So I highly recommend for anyone that struggles with assertiveness to do some kind of assertiveness training. Go to YouTube and type in how to be more assertive if you want to be more assertive. Okay, before I give you number 7, I would be fascinated to hear in the comments from you guys some reasons you have noticed that people will disrespect INFJs and INFPs. Let me know in the comments. I read your comments, you guys. They mean the world to me. It increases engagement on the channel. It builds community. So don't be shy in sharing your take on these topics today. Okay, here's number 7, and I forget who said it. It's a quote, okay? I've mentioned it in a previous video before. If you know who the guy that did the quote was, leave it down in the comments. There's a guy that said, before you diagnose yourself, and I'm paraphrasing, he said, before you diagnose yourself as having some kind of flaw or being, depressed or being crazy or anything like that, first, make sure that you are indeed not surrounded by assholes. So you guys, number 7 is, you can do all of those first 6 things that I just mentioned to you perfectly, and there are wicked, evil, dark, narcissistic, psychopathic assholes that exist in this universe that will disrespect anybody. Anybody. I mean, they crucified Jesus, and he never did anything wrong. He was perfect, and they crucified him. Okay? So ask yourself, INFJ or an INFP, are you working on these other 6 things on this list? Are you making an effort? Do you respect yourself? Do you set boundaries? Are you assertive? Or are you working on it? Are you striving to be 0.5% or 1% better today than you were yesterday? All I'm asking you to do, I'm not casting off responsibility. I am merely positing the question or the theory, getting you to think and ask yourself, is it possible that you could be surrounded by assholes? Thank you for tuning in today. I love you guys. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. I'll talk to you in the next video. Take care.